Alright, so today what we're going to do is just show you guys the materials that you'll be getting for the class. Hopefully you've gotten them by now, or you're going to be getting them pretty soon. So first thing you'll notice, there should be a folder with 30 sheets of drawing paper in it. The drawing paper is nice and thick. It's a nice drawing paper, has a bit of a texture to it if you compare it to like a printer paper. You also should see a couple sheets of gray paper. The gray paper is going to be for a specific project, so hold off on using it until we get to that project. You guys will have your drawing utensils, pencils, smudge sticks, erasers, graphite, charcoal, etc. I'll go through these one by one and kind of show you what we have. Pencils, so these aren't your typical pencils, these are drawing pencils. And with drawing pencils you'll know that they are labeled as such. The different numbers mean different things, so I'll kind of explain what that means. You see B's and you see H's. So I'm going to start with the one that has both on it, an HB. An HB, what that means is right in between a hard graphite and a soft graphite. So in these pencils, they're not actually lead inside there. It's something called graphite. Graphite's a material that we use to draw with, and it's on a continuum. So HB, as you would guess, has both qualities of H and B, and it sits right in the middle. When you use this, this seems very similar to what a typical number 2 pencil in your classroom would be. You're on a continuum. The more B's that you have, the softer the lead is. So this would be HB, then just 1B, 2B, 4B, 6B. As you move down the line, you'll notice it gets a lot softer. We typically don't use a 6B to draw with. It's for when you're wanting to shade in a really dark, heavy area. It's really soft, it's really dark, it's really bold. Typically we would want to stay with something more like a 2B. This is a pretty nice drawing pencil. It's bold but not too bold, and you get a little bit finer details working with a 2B. Right. And HB is a little bit harder. You can kind of even tell by looking at it. There's about the same amount of pressure for all those. And then the H's go up. So I'd have a 2H, a 4H, a 6H. I'm not sure what she packed you, but as you go along, we didn't give you anything more than like a 2H or a 4H, which is fine. We don't typically use these very much in drawing. We'll use these if we want to do like a really fine detail, like I don't know, like hair on a person. You want to get those really nice strains kind of going. You use that, but it's really hard. It's really kind of almost indents your paper as you use it. So yeah, those are your pencils. We use them for different things. As we do our drawings in our videos, we'll explain maybe which one to use. You're also going to have a smudge stick. Yours might look a little bit different than mine, but the idea is all the same. It's a piece of paper that's been rolled up and kind of put into a point. When we use a smudge stick, it's kind of just to fill in areas, make something a little bit softer. And it works differently on the different pencils as you'd expect. The harder, the less it smudges, right? And barely smudges the 2H. So that's what our smudge stick will do. Really nice for kind of filling and kind of going. Next we have our erasers. We have 2 types of erasers. One's a gummy eraser, one's called a soap eraser or a plastic eraser. Use the same way to erase stuff, but erasers in art class aren't always for erasing things as much as creating things or drawing things. In a math classroom, you would erase it because you made a mistake. Erasers in our class aren't because you made a mistake, it's because you want to get some kind of technique. So maybe you're going for a bright spot, on your apple that you're drawing or something. So there's my bright spot on my apple down in the corner. I have to get rid of some of it. These gummy erasers work differently in that they actually pick up the graphite when you use it. And the soap eraser will kind of smudge it away. What's nice about soap erasers is I get a really nice solid kind of line. You can see it's a little bit more sharper, a little bit more crisper. What you can do too is, so this is an older soap eraser that I have. You can see the edges get really round. What you can do is you can take a knife and then you can cut it down, and then you have a really nice kind of sharp piece, and you can just use that side that you just cut and make a nice sharp line with it. Okay. What else do we have? Those are erasers. We have, I gave you guys a pencil sharpener. You might have a different one than this. We found as many as we could and sent them home with you guys. This one has two, a bigger one and a thinner one. You guys can figure out how to use it. I guess you do. We have charcoal. So we have two different charcoal sticks we sent home. One is an actual pencil type charcoal. You can sharpen it, get a nice crisp line in there. We can shade with it. Makes this really dark line. We also have a charcoal stick, which is great for if you're going to fill in a large area. Right. You should also be aware that you should use, I have a tissue. Tissues are great for smudging. You don't necessarily want to smudge charcoal with your smudge stick because it gets it really dark and black. Puts charcoal on there instead of graphite. So what you can do instead is use a tissue and your finger and kind of make these great lines. And then when you're ready to, you can go back with an eraser. And charcoal is great for working and reworking. Right, you got these just. And that's the difference. You see all those crumbs that kind of go up with these soap erasers. Yeah. And then last but not least, we also sent home white charcoal. Either you got a stick or you got a pencil, depending on what supplies we had left. So they work exactly the same. The stick, you can go into, and then the will blend quite nice. Okay. And again, those can be worked just like the black charcoal, where we can smudge them, kind of move stuff around if you want. So yeah, those are your supplies. Hope you enjoy them. It's going to be hard to get you new supplies, so take care of them if you can. And that's all we got. Thanks.